Good morning. I'm Angela Cabellin, and I am the Chief Innovation Officer and Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for County Executive Calvin Ball. I'm so excited to be joined by friends and colleagues here in Howard County on this snowy day for this very important announcement. I want to thank you all for making the adjustment to attend this virtual event and hear our speakers today. We know how important it is as Asian Americans to work in our communities. As a college student activist, years ago, I was credited with the pushing and organizing for the establishment of Asian American Studies at the University of Maryland. I continued this commitment in my state and local government experience, focusing on issues of citizenship, language access, business engagement, and workforce development for Asian Americans. And now, I want to say how honored I am to be working with a county executive who has and continues to be committed to issues that are important to us. Throughout this administration, he has ensured that Asian American issues are addressed and our community is engaged. It is my privilege to introduce County Executive Calvin Ball.
Thank you so much, Angela. And let me just again publicly acknowledge what an honor it is to work with Angela. Angela not only is serving in the roles that she talked about, Chief Innovation Officer and Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, but Angela has been the incident commander throughout this entire COVID-19 crisis and has served so well, working day in and day out. And so I just want to publicly acknowledge Angela for her brilliance, her dedication, and being all that she can be for Howard County and making sure that we keep people safe and moving forward. In Howard County, we aspire to embody the values of diversity, civility, and inclusion, and respect for every person who chooses our community to live, work, play, or grow in. Diversity is a hallmark of Howard County, and our Asian American community serves a vital role in contributing to the cultural vibrancy that makes our county one of the most attractive locations for the country and, frankly, the world. Nearly 60,000 of our residents identify as Asian American and are dynamic and engaged members of our county, starting and growing businesses, volunteering their time, and working to make our community better, while also sharing their culture with everyone who calls Howard County home. And while we've made great strides in building a diverse community, we recognize there is always more work to be done to have an inclusive community. We've seen most recently during this pandemic the hateful rhetoric and bias toward the Asian American community around the nation. We have a responsibility to ensure that all our residents are safe and feel safe and respected and treated with the dignity that they deserve. Today, we're taking an important step toward that more inclusive community. I'm pleased to announce we're establishing an Asian American work group to promote the values of diversity and civility, to work with our government, nonprofit organizations, and other community organizations, and to help build an environment of inclusion and understanding throughout all of Howard County. This work group will provide an outlet for our Asian American community to organize events and discuss and foster stronger relationships, advise me on best practices to further support the Asian American community and policy initiatives, and work on emerging issues affecting our community. The work group will consist of valued members of the community, many of whom have assisted with outreach and initiatives such as our census outreach, food and language access, business engagement, and coordination of COVID-19 donations. I'd also like to acknowledge Maryland State Senator Clarence Lamb. We are in the session, so as a senator, he is going to try to join us, but unlikely will be able to. Senator Lamb will serve as our honorary chair for this work group and has been a key voice and community leader for our Asian American community throughout not just Howard County, but throughout the state of Maryland. We have a responsibility to build a better society today and tomorrow. And that starts with ensuring all members of our county have that voice to invoke the change we want to see for current and future generations. And now it's my honor to sign this executive order. Thank you very much, and I'm going to turn it back over to Angela.
Thank you, County Executive. We see the many applause here right on this WebEx. And before we hear from our other speakers, I will name those who are being named to this executive order, who are the work group members. If you are here and have the ability to take yourself off and wave on camera, you're welcome to. Also, there are many joining us on Facebook. Mabruka Chaudhry, Human Rights Commissioner. Mei Fong, President of the Taiwanese American Association of the Greater Baltimore Chapter. Anwar Hassan, Senior Vice President. Eugenia Henry, President of the Global Federation of Chinese Business Women. Samya Hira, who is a community representative. Zhou Tam Meng, President of the Chin Association of Maryland. Ashley Hu, Board Chair of the Chinese Language School of Columbia. Matthew Lee, President of FastTech Incorporated. Ning Li, Director of Community Affairs of the Howard County Chinese School. Pravin Panori, President of the Indian Origin Network of Howard County. Devang Shah, Managing Partner of Shah and Kishore Law Firm and member of the Asian American Immigration Lawyers Association. Young Smith, President of the League of Korean Americans for Howard County. Sanjay Srivastava, President of the Indian Cultural Association. Jody Wong, Executive Director of the Chinese American Parents Association. Michael Zhao, President of Volunteers and our student representative. Rajal Karim, Event Director of Udion. And Officer Stella Diu, Asian Community Liaison of Howard County Police Department. Let's please give a virtual round of applause for our work group members. Thank you. And now we will hear from Yolanda Saunier, the Administrator of the Office of Human Rights.
Good morning, all, and thank you for that, Angela. County Executive Ball, thank you for your commitment to improving Howard County and for the Office of Human Rights and Equity's opportunity to continue to serve all of our residents of our county. County Executive Ball, I think your signing of the executive order actually brought the sun out. I may be imagining that, but it was great news to have you sign this executive order today and to bring a little bit of sunshine, at least for me. I will go on and say that although 2020, I know, was a year that many of us would like to forget, 2020 brought to light the ugly head of racism, targeting, and discrimination. But 2020 showed us that we have to do better as a nation. The county executive and the Office of Human Rights partnered with many Asian community groups to bring awareness and attempt to eradicate the targeting, bias, and discriminatory practices that began in communities as a result of COVID. Many of our efforts were preemptive as we saw what was going around our nation and around the globe. The Asian American Work Group will further the county's commitment to equity and inclusion and will allow the Asian community to know their voices matter and they are being heard. The work group will serve as a bridge between the Asian community and county administration, as well as the Office of Human Rights and Equity. I look forward to working with each and every one of the work group members, as well as the community, for this work group to serve as a catalyst for change in the Asian community here in Howard County. I want to say a big thank you to Shay Martineau with the Office of Human Rights and Equity, who will work closely with the work group and provide all the necessary logistical support that this work group will need. The inaugural work group meeting will actually take place virtually on Thursday, February 25th at 6 p.m. This meeting is open to the public. All of the work group meetings are open to the public, and we encourage everyone to become involved. Even though you are not one of the members that were listed as a work group member, please get involved as a community member. For more information, you can contact the Office of Human Rights and Equity. You can look at our website and more information will be posted. I appreciate the opportunity, as I indicated at the beginning, to continue to serve this great county. Please get involved and help us to continue to make a positive impact for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yolanda. And now we'd like to turn it over to our student member who is very impressive, Michael Zhao.
Thanks, everyone. So my name is Michael Zhao. I'm a student at Appleton High School and the founder of Volunteens, a nonprofit based here in Howard County. I'm honored to be a part of this work group, and I'm excited to help tackle issues that the AAPI community of Howard County faces. And one of the biggest issues I see is the disconnect between the AAPI community and the rest of the community. We can solve this issue through education, which will come in one-way and two-way approaches. The one-way approach includes traditional classroom teaching, such as teaching more about Asian American history in our classes. And we can also educate through workshops, seminars, and social media. Social media can be especially powerful if done on popular platforms within ethnic communities, such as WeChat, Zalo, and WhatsApp. The two-way approach means more of education through experience. And the best way to demonstrate the two-way approach, in my opinion, is community service, because it brings people of all different backgrounds together to learn from each other and work towards a common goal. I think a perfect example of this would be Volunteens, which utilizes its diverse student base to serve the community through collaborative projects. It even gets students' parents involved, which provides a new channel for adults of different backgrounds to connect with each other. We currently have 180 members and are actively involved in many projects, and we're excited to work with the AAPI community of Howard County.
Thank you, Michael, and congratulations to being named a work group member. I also was remiss in mentioning Bob Zhang, who also joins us today, and he is also named as a member, and he's from USA BAL Solutions, LLC. And now we'll hear from a community member, Samia Hira.
Good morning. My name is Samia Hira. I moved to Howard County when I married my husband over 25 years ago. And while we've thought about moving elsewhere multiple times, I just can't imagine living anywhere else. Some of the reasons we stayed were the community, the opportunities, and the incredible diversity where my children could grow. However, after the attacks on September 11th, my family was targeted solely because of how we looked and the religion we practiced. It became more challenging to instill our values in our children, who were only toddlers at the time. In the South Asian community, we are often underlooked and underrepresented, even in an affluent community like Howard County. While we have come a long way in 20 years, we still have work ahead of us. By establishing this work group, members of our community are given an opportunity and are given an important role to help our community prosper. I'm so pleased to be a member of this work group and be a representative of the Indian community. Thank you, County Executive Ball, for establishing this incredible initiative and for providing us a seat at the table. I'm excited to start this journey towards making Howard County a place where everyone from my kids and my future grandchildren to my friends and neighbors can feel safe, valued, and heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Samia. And now we'll hear from business owner Sue Park.
Thank you, Angela. In 1950, Howard County was primarily a rural farming community of 23,000. Since then, its population has grown and diversified. By 2017, nearly half of Howard County's population identified as a racial minority. That's more than 320,000 people. This trend is expected to continuously grow in the next 5 to 10 years. That statistic brings forth minorities like us need to work closely with community leaders to help the population as a whole. AAPI work group is to serve as a strong advocate of Asian American and Pacific Islander interests and affect positive change on all issues that enhance and advance the goals and aspiration of AAPI community. With the community leaders like County Executive Dr. Calvin Ball and Maryland State Senator Dr. Clarence Lam, we strive to do this by supporting and promoting the issues that impact the AAPI community. And I appreciate the opportunity of doing this work group and looking forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sue, and congratulations as well. Before we open up to any questions from our Asian press and other press, I also want to recognize the many staff who are part of this effort and who play a role prominently in government as well. We have Director of our Budget Office, and that's Holly Sun, who joins us. We also have our budget analyst, Jimmy Kwok, and Performance Manager. And then many of you know Safa, who has communicating with you, who is also playing a role. And thank you to Yolanda and all of her staff as well. So now this is the time where we open up to any questions from the press.
You can.
Yes, Chang Lee.
Yeah.
From Korea Times. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining
Right.
us.
Nice to meet all of you. Yeah. Tomorrow is actually Lunar New Year. So a lot of Asian American communities celebrating, and then it's my honor to have to participate in this Zoom meeting, and then it's really nice. She Calvin, Executive Calvin Ball. Yeah, and my question is, I think it's very impressive for your community, your county actually to launch a working group, and then maybe Asian American still I think minority groups, their voice I think should be heard. But before that, as Michael Zhao mentioned, people need to know. They need to understand. So I think his suggestion of educating other community about the Asian community or Asian history might be really good opinion. And then now I have a question to County Executive Calvin Ball. And then what do you think about Korean community in Howard County? Actually, I'm now covering, here Montgomery and then Prince George, and then here Fairfax and Prince William. But my company actually covers that area, but I don't know what's your opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Calvin, County Executive.
Thank you so much for the great question, and everyone, happy early Lunar New Year. We're excited for the year of the ox and for a great deal of prosperity. And I think our ability to have persevered over 2020 will lead us into a great 2021 together. Howard County is home to one of the highest percentages of the Korean community throughout the state and the region. And I think that speaks to not only our quality of life, but also our opportunity. And what I'm hoping from this work group is to be not only a place where we can have important conversations to improve the quality of life for all of our Asian American community members, but frankly, for us all to work together to improve the quality of life for all and to be an example throughout the rest of the state, the nation, and the world, how coming together, we are stronger.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I also, wanted to point out our Assistant Chief Administrative Officer, Jansen Evelyn, who also joins us. Thank you, Jansen. Okay, we have George Berkheimer from Biz Monthly. Do you have any questions? Any other media have any questions? So with that said, we want to thank you
Oh,
all.
I have one more question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lee, go ahead.
Okay, I want to know a little more about, this Asian American Pacific Island work group. How often you guys meet and how many people are in there and what's your plan? Thank you. I think this question have to be given to Administrator Yolanda Sonia.
So I'll start off, Mr. Lee. Actually, we can get you the executive order, and the executive order lays everything out. We'll make sure to get that to you and to the press and everyone on the call so that you can get that level of detail and don't have to write furious notes with a great deal. It's about 3 pages and it lays everything out.
So today, actually, you announced the executive order, right?
Correct. I signed the executive order this morning while we were on the call, and we'll make sure to get that to you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, I want to thank everyone who joined us today for this momentous announcement. And we look forward to working with you for this Asian American Work Group. And this now concludes our event. Thank you.
Thank you.